Why is it that from the moment a young man puts on a multicolored coat and shares a few strange dreams, his whole life is dragged into a chain of dark events no one could see coming? Morning wind sweeps over the hills of Canaan, carrying the smell of dry grass, sheep dung, and road dust. Jacob's family camp lies in the open country, low tents, ropes tied to flocks, the bleating of goats and sheep breaking the silence of dawn. Among his sons, Jacob keeps a special place in his heart for Joseph, the child born to him in his old age. Every step Joseph takes, every word he speaks, seems to touch the softest place in his father's heart. To show his love, Jacob has a long robe made for Joseph. Red, yellow, orange, dyes as costly as gold in those days, are brushed into every thread. When Jacob lays the robe on Joseph's shoulders, it glows like a streak of rainbow in a field of white sheep. But from a distance, other eyes are watching. Joseph's brothers, the ones who spend their days burning under the sun in the open fields, look at that robe and taste bitterness rising in their mouths. They wear rough, worn cloth. Their younger brother walks past them like a prince. Every time they hear Jacob call, "Joseph, stay here with me," the fire of jealousy inside them flares higher. Joseph is 17. He's still carefree. He loves his father, loves his brothers, loves the flocks and the star-filled sky. He doesn't understand the heavy looks that follow him. To him, the robe is just a gift. The dreams are just wonders God lets him see ahead of time. He has no idea that what is beautiful to him has become a blade slicing into other hearts. One night, after a long day with the sheep, Joseph falls into a deep sleep and has a strange dream. The next morning, he runs out to the fields, wind whipping through the grass, eager to tell his brothers.
Brothers, last night I had a dream. Let me tell you.
They turn, their eyes cold.
Dreaming again, huh? You master of dreams. Fine. Tell us, what are you becoming this time?
Joseph ignores the sarcasm. He says, bright with excitement,
I saw us out in the field, tying up bundles of grain. Suddenly my bundles stood up and stayed upright, and your bundles gathered around and bowed down to mine.
The air turns heavy. One of them growls.
So you think we're going to bow down to you? You plan to rule over us?
From that day, their jealousy runs deeper. But God isn't done with the dreams. Joseph has another. Once more, he comes to his father and brothers.
I dreamed that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowed down to me.
Jacob rebukes him.
What kind of dream is that? Are your father, your mother, and your brothers all supposed to bow down to you?
He says it like a rebuke, but he keeps the words in his heart. The brothers don't want to keep anything. In their eyes, the younger boy in the colored robe now dreams of ruling the whole house. Sometime later, the brothers take the flocks far away to graze. Days pass and they don't return. Jacob calls Joseph.
Go and see if your brothers and the flocks are safe, and come back and tell me.
Joseph obeys. He throws on his robe, takes some food, and steps out onto the dusty road. He has to ask directions, wander from hill to hill, searching for tracks of the flock. At last, from a distance, he spots familiar figures. His steps quicken. His heart is glad at the thought of seeing his brothers. Up on the rise, the brothers have already seen him. The colored robe is easy to recognize against the sand. One of them curls his lip.
Look, the master of dreams is coming.
The words that follow are no longer jokes.
This is our chance. Let's kill him and throw his body into that pit. We'll tell father a wild animal tore him to pieces. Let's see what happens to his dreams then.
Reuben, the oldest, is afraid. He still feels something for his brother, so he speaks up.
Don't shed blood. Throw him into the pit, but don't kill him.
In his heart, he plans to come back later and rescue Joseph. Joseph reaches them, breathing hard after the long walk. Before he can even say hello, they rush him. Rough hands grab his robe, tear it off his shoulders, and drag him toward the mouth of a dry, empty cistern. "What are you doing?" Joseph cries, panic rising. No one answers. A hard shove. Joseph falls. His body slams against the walls. loose stones and sand rattling down around him. When he looks up, he sees only a small circle of sky and a ring of hard faces staring down. Above, they turn away. They sit down to eat, roasting meat, smoke drifting on the wind. In the pit, Joseph's cries for help grow hoarse. In the middle of the day, his heart sinks into the night. While they're eating, a caravan appears on the horizon. Ishmaelite or Midianite traders, their camels loaded with gum, myrrh, and spices, headed down to Egypt. The jingle of bells, the groaning of camels, and the smell of resin fill the air. Judah looks at the traders, and another idea flashes through his mind. What do we gain if we kill our brother? He's our own flesh and blood. Let's sell him to these men. Our hands will be clean, and we still get money. The plan is quickly accepted. They haul Joseph up out of the pit and tie his hands. For a moment, hope flickers in his eyes. It dies as soon as he hears the cold bargaining over his life. 20 pieces of silver, the price of a young slave. Joseph is handed over to the traders. The rope bites into his wrists as they pull him along. His feet drag heavy as stone. Behind him, his brothers head back to their camp. Before him, the road to Egypt stretches endlessly. Camel hooves thud in the sand. The wind whistles. The smell of resin mixes with the smell of fear. Joseph turns his head one last time. Far away, the hills of Canaan fade into the haze, where his father is waiting, knowing nothing. To hide their crime, the brothers slaughter a goat, dip Joseph's robe in its blood, and bring it home.
Father, look. Isn't this Joseph's robe? We found it in the fields.
Jacob's old hands tremble as he takes it. He recognizes every stitch, every stripe. He had once laid it on his son's shoulders himself. Now the robe is torn, stained dark with blood. A raw cry rips from his chest.
It is my son's robe. A wild animal must have devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces.
Jacob tears his own clothes, wraps himself in sackcloth, and falls to the ground in grief. His children come to comfort him, but he says,
I will mourn for my son until the day I go down to the grave to be with him.
No one dares to speak the truth. Their guilt weighs on them, while their father clutches the blood-soaked robe and weeps day after day. Joseph is already far from his father's cries. The traders cross the burning desert and enter the land along the Nile. Green fields, massive stone buildings, crowded cities, thick with the smell of spices, brick kilns, and river water. Egypt, a world completely foreign to a young man from Canaan. There, Joseph is sold again, this time to Potiphar, captain of the guard of Pharaoh. His name is written in a slave register. His clothes have changed. The language around him is strange. Customs are turned upside down. It feels like everything in his life has collapsed. His father's robe, the old camp, the dreams of sheaves and stars, all of it pushed back into memory. But in the pit, on the slave road, and in Potiphar's house, there is one thing Joseph does not lose. God is still with him. It was God who gave him the dreams. It is God who is quietly using human evil to begin a plan that will save many from hunger. The brothers think they've killed Joseph's dreams. They don't know that from the moment they threw him into the pit, in the next episode we'll follow Joseph into Potiphar's house, where a Hebrew slave has to face power, temptation, lies, and prison, before those old dreams slowly unfold in ways no one expected. Subscribe so you won't miss what happens next.